Satnam, aloha. So, is there anybody here? Okay. Okay, I can't see if anybody's here or not, but that's okay. I'll just go forward here. There we go. The sound is good. Okay. So, where shall we start? There's some good news. Oops. Is there an echo? Is there anybody here? I'm hearing an echo. Just a second. Oh, I see. There we go. Okay. Okay, so it looks like there's some people here. So the first thing I want to do, why don't we do some pranayama, right? Why don't we do some Kundalini yoga here? So this is for balancing the emotions. It's a really simple one. Anyone can do it. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to tune in with the Adi mantra. And I want to see if I have it here that I can put. Thank you. Oh, and I apologize for the delay. There was some technical glitches, but we're here. And I really want it because my mind was, well, maybe I'll do it tomorrow. And it's like, no, I want it to be 999. And look, I look at my computer and it's 1717. So it's 9. So we're in the flow because this is a magical day, September 9th, 2021. And tune in. Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay. This is I'm used to just doing videos and it's a lot different. I have a lot more control. So I'm just going to surrender and go with this. Okay, so I'm assuming everybody knows Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. I'll just put this here. You're going to see the green screen for a minute. So Ong Namo Gurudev Namo, which is basically I'm calling upon my own inner teacher, my own inner sage within. And this is such a lesson for us now as we flip into the Aquarian age, as we're taking our, if you read my newsletter, right, we're taking our power back, basically, from giving all of our authority over to the external, and we're bringing it back into the internal. So more not outer focused, but self-focused, higher self-focused. Okay, so Ong Namo Gurudev Namo connects you with that inner sage that's in you, because everything you need is inside you. We have to really get that, and that's what we're having a deep experience of that right now. Everything that we need is inside of us, and each one of us, and life will show us where we're not living that, right? Life will show us very, very clearly how we're not living that. Okay, so let's tune in. So rub your palms together and feel the heat between your hands, and bring your hands into prayer pose and feel your sitting bones on your chair. If you're sitting in a chair, feel your soles of your feet on the ground. Take some long, deep breaths through your nostrils. And relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your neck muscles, relaxing your belly as you bring more and more breath into your physical form. And just bringing all your energy in this present now moment. And so the intention is to be a longing to be with your soul, a longing to be with your higher self, and to receive that guidance. So inhale deeply. Exhale. Inhale to the base of the spine. Exhale. And inhale to tune in. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om. Namo. Guru Dev. Namo. And inhale deeply. Suspend the breath. Press your palms together. Focus at your third eye, the point between your brows, and channel the energy up. And exhale, relax your hands down. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to bring your left hand into Gyan Mudra. So the thumb and index finger are touching. Just have that relaxing on your thigh. And then you're going to use your thumb of, I'm mirroring you. It's the left hand, right? Left hand in Gyan Mudra. Take your right thumb. You're going to use your right thumb and your right pinky. So you're going to close off your right nostril. You're going to breathe deeply through the left. Okay, and then you're going to hold your left nostril with your pinky, and then you're going to exhale through your right nostril. And then you begin again, okay? So blocking off the right inhale, blocking off the left, exhale. Okay, so we'll just do that for a couple minutes. And this is really good for balancing your emotions to bring you back to your center, your neutral self, your neutral yogi self. Okay, so let's do it. So let's begin. So begin. And eyes are closed and focused at your third eye. And shoulders are down and relaxed. And spine is straight. And keep your belly relaxed. And inhale deeply through both nostrils. Suspend the breath. Focus at your third eye. Point between your brows. And exhale and relax. Okay, so welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So there's some good news. We definitely need some good news in the world right now. So I want to start that and share this with you. Okay. So hopefully you have your human design chart by now. And you can get that. I have a link below in the information box that you can get your chart, or go to mybodygraph.com or just search Jovian Archive and you'll find it. Okay. So this is the just now as of today chart. And so you can see we've got some definitions. So what I want to talk about is the nodes. Okay. And that's these things up here, the horseshoes. So if you know astrology, right, that's the north node and the south node. But interestingly enough, it creates a channel, right? So we can see the channel, the 3520, right there. So let me get to the next one. It's interesting. We've got that 4722 today, and it's the 20th anniversary of September 11th coming up, and it's very karmic. This 4722, it's the shadow of oppression, and then the 22 is the shadow of dishonor. So we'll see what happens there. But this is about good news, and it's all good news, right? All this challenges that we're experiencing in our life are making us stronger. Have you noticed that? Like your resolve, like you're more in your resolve, more in your power when you have those moments of, we're born for this time. Make no mistake about that. We're born for these times. Okay. So here we've got the 34 and the 20. So a lot of you'll notice with human design, like you've got that 40. I'll show it again, right? So you've got the 4722. So with the sun, with the sun Earth, it shows the programming partner. So each hexagram, each one of those numbers, its opposite is called the programming partner. So in this instance, it's 47. The programming partner is 22, and it's always that way with the sun and the earth, right? But you'll notice the 47 is coming off the ajna. That's the second shape there on the bottom. And then 22 comes off the solar plexus, right? So often they don't make a channel, right? Like this 3420. The 3420 are opposite. So you'll see it in the sun and the moon, and you'll see it in the north node, south node, because those are the opposites, right? So it's very rare. You've got the 4323, the 3740, 3420. They actually make a channel, right? This is what's called a channel. So this is what gives, it's called definition. That's why it's colored in. So that's the throat chakra. The 20 is coming off the throat chakra. And then 34 is coming off the sacral. Okay, so let's go back to, so that's a rarity in itself. Okay, and this is called the busy channel. So this is going to sit here until January 18th, 2022. It's called the busy channel. So you may actually have this channel in your design. Okay. What was I going to say about? Well, I found it interesting. The last video, the second last video I did. The last video is actually a part of the other video that I did, but it felt like, oh, this is a whole separate theme, and it was long anyway. So I just edited it and made it a second video. Where was I going with that? Oh, that so many people had a defined ego. I found that really interesting, considering only 30% of the population have a defined ego. But then people who have a defined ego have that, right? They're gonna speak up anyway about that. So anyway, I took note of, oh, okay, I'll keep I'll keep it. I won't assume that everybody has an open center or everybody has this defined center. Okay, so I made note of that. So I listen to your feedback. Okay, so we've got the busy channel. So some of you may have this already. And what does that mean if you have it already? Then it's going to really resonate. It's going to be like double dose, right, of this energy. Right? So you notice it's going from the sacral, that's our life force energy, up to the throat, right? The throat. And it's all about the throat. This is how we manifest, right? Through our word, through our speech, how we express our authentic self. So this is very, very powerful. And so it's joining the gate of the now, the gate of the direction of the now, and then the gate of power, the 34. So what does this make? This makes, because each channel, right? Each channel is a different type. I don't want to get too much into the mechanics of human design, but each one is a type. So this makes it a manifesting generator channel. Okay, so if you've got my recorded reading, you know, right? You'll know more about being a manifesting generator or a generator. So a manifesting generator is a hybrid of the generator type and the manifester type. So this is very, very powerful. So these next 5 months is the potential. Remember, everything is a potential of manifestation, right? And it's also an individual channel, or an individual. It's called individual. I should have put circuitry there. Individual circuitry. So there's a type of channel. It could be a generator channel, projector channel. And then circuitry, it can be an individual, collective, or tribal circuitry. So this is an individual circuitry. So what does all that mean? It means that what can come in terms of individual circuitry is melancholy. So you may feel a little bit melancholic. And if you let your mind take over, and it's like, this is why I'm feeling so low, this is why I'm feeling so down, it's because of what's happening out in the world, right? So this tyranny is taking over, and there's no hope for humanity. There's a perfect example of that. And it makes sense, right? Of course I'm going to feel that way. This is what's happening. This is the mind has all the logical reasons why I'm feeling that way. As soon as you get into that space, then you're in depression, and then depression will take over. Now, the truth is, with individual circuitry, I'm a pure individual, like both my channels are individual, right? So I know this very, very well, that this melancholy is just part of the chemistry of creativity, right? The individual circuitry is creativity. So you just let it be. And so what happens is, this is the gestation. There's something gestating inside you when you feel melancholic, right? If you just allow it to be, right? I'm just allowing this feeling to be. I'm just feeling it. I'm feeling really, really low. There's no reason why. I'm not going to listen to my mind making up a lot of reasons, and then I'm going to try to control it, or I'm going to try to sedate it. I'm just going to be with it, and I'm just going to feel it. And if you do that, and you love yourself unconditionally through this is what we're learning for the Aquarian age, is to love ourselves unconditionally, love our authenticity, right, without conditions. Then it transmutes, right? And what does it transmute into? Something very, very creative. So it's like you're gestating, right? So you may experience that in these next 5 months, right? So not to freak out about it at all. And so Kay said she's got it, right? Do you relate to that, Kate, what I'm saying? Because you have it, right? You have that design. Okay, so why is this called? Yes, Gretchen relates to it. Yeah, and that was a game changer when I learned that about myself, right? It's like, oh, because I've got the 30, I've got the 1-8, and then the 35, or the 55, 39. The other thing that's happening too, after January 18th, we're coming into the 814, and this is all about authenticity that's coming. So I feel like we're preparing for this right after January 15th. And then January 22nd, that's the real new year, human design, because the sun comes around to the 41st hexagram again. Okay. So let's talk about this busy channel. And I know this busy channel really well because actually my next door neighbors, both of them have this channel, and they are non-stop. They just don't stop, right? They're always active, right? But this is healthy for them because they have it natally, right? They have it healthy. So it's healthy for them to be active of things that they love to do. So remember that. You got to love to do what you're doing. And so where you can get into trouble is if you're busy for no reason, because what's happening, you've got the melancholy, but you also have this sense of insecurity. That's the shadow of this channel, insecurity. So your mind will say, you've got to be active doing something. You got to be doing something to get rid of this insecurity. And look what's going to happen in the world. You all know this, right? In the fall, it's going to be more and more lockdowns, right? Because we're heading into flu season, right? So imagine all of this energy building up. I got to do something. I have to do something. And you can't do anything. You're trapped in your home, right? And also remember that 70% of the world are generators and manifesting generators. And that means they've got that sacral defined. If you're a projector or a manifester or a reflector, you don't have that defined. We know how to sit still, right? When lockdown came, it was like nothing changed in my life, right? Nothing changed in my routine. It's been all the same, right? Because I know how to use my energy. I don't have a lot of life force energy to waste, so I'm very strategic about how I use my energy, right? So if you're a projector, reflector, manifestor, you understand that dynamic, but the generators don't, right? So they're used to be moving around and blah, 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 like this. So what you have to do is you have to be really, with this channel, it's like it's great, it's a powerhouse, but you need guidance and how you use your energy. So this is a time, and it's in the 6th line right now, as you can see here, right there. It's in the 6th line. So that changes too, right? As we come through January, right? It will change to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then it goes into the next one. So we're in the 6th line for a while yet. And this is reflection. If it's a 6th line, it's reflection. So this is a time to reflect on, how do I want to use my energy, right? What activities do I want to spend my time with now, right? Getting more reflective about that. Do I really want to spend my energy doing this? Because remember, it's true. There's no the new normal, right? The old normal's going. It's going, like goodbye, right? So a waste of energy is trying to hold on to this Titanic that's sinking. It's sinking, it's going, right? It's going away, and there's a lot of grief to it. This old world is leaving, but as this new is being born. So this is the energy you want to be aligning yourself with, is the new, and the new comes through you, right? It comes through you. It has to do with your soul purpose. So you want to align that with your soul purpose, a higher, greater purpose, and then use your energy accordingly, especially if you're a generator, manifesting generator, right? Because you guys are working through the slave archetype right now, transmuting the slave archetype. So this is about asking yourself questions, right? Like, get out your journal, start asking questions. What gives you joy, right? It's not coming from insecurity. It's not coming from fear. It's right. What gives you joy? What's calling you? What's calling you out in your life right now? Because this is what you have to answer to. And that's when you're using your energy correctly, right? So it's about a response. Remember, generators, you're all about responding. Manifesting generators are all about responding with the yes or no from your sacral. Oh, right? It's like, oh, okay, I'm getting a zing from this. This is where I want to use my energy, right? Because manifesting generators, like they're like racehorses. You know, they're just like, hey, let me go. I want to go, 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 go. So once you get that yes, then you can move forward. So the non-energy types, we can ride on this energy right now because we're going to feel this, but remember that it's not you, it's not yours, right? Remember, it's not your energy, right? So keep that in mind. So the projectors, right, they need their invitation, right? The manifestors need to inform. Okay, so let's go. What else did I want to say about the busy channel? And then you go. And why it's called the channel, it's a busy channel. It's also called the channel of charisma, because when you are focused on activities that are right for you, then there's a charisma that comes off of your aura, and you actually empower others. You can empower others just by doing things that you love to do. You may have found that yourself, you know, when you're watching someone in their purpose, they're just in their purpose, right? They're so elevated and they're just like on a mission from a positive place. It can be empowering to watch that and even to be in that person's aura, right? So keep that in mind. Okay, I talked about the melancholy. And then you've got to really root out too, you know, about this, because there's this propaganda of busyness that it's like we get gold medals for being busy, busy, doing things. Why can't you be busy like that person over there? So you've got to really, you know, it's an individual channel. It's an individual circuitry. So it's about being yourself, your authentic self. And being your authentic self means to walk away sometimes from the collective, often from the collective and the tribe, right? Okay. So the danger here too is not knowing why you're busy. So you want to stop yourself because it can be a compulsion to be busy. You know those people? They've got to be constantly busy, sweeping the floor, doing this, doing that. You've got to like stop and question yourself. Why am I doing this right now? What's the motivation right now? To be more intentional with your actions. Yeah. K is like the projectors are like, yes. I remember one time being at summer solstice and Ram Dass Puri, right, for Kundalini yoga, and it was during White Tantric, and I wasn't participating. I was being I don't know what they call them, the watchers or whatever, watching, taking somebody's position if they needed to use the washroom or whatever. I was doing that. And there was at one point where everybody had their eyes on their nose, right? So there's hundreds of people at White Tantric. So they're all looking at their nose and they're in silence, just breathing. And I just had this moment of elation, right? And thinking like, most of these people are generators or manifesting generators, and what, right? You can feel like they're cats, you know, like the motors are going, but they're being still. Like what a world it would be if we all just stopped and looked at the tip of our nose and breathed long and deep and got intentional about how we take action in the world, you know. Okay. The other thing to look out too is anger. Anger may come up with this transit, so keep that in mind. What else? Okay. That's the busy channel. And why it's good news is because you can manifest. You can start to manifest from this place of right action, right? It's right action. The action's not coming from the mind, it's coming from deep within you. It's right action. Okay, so let's go to the this north node and we'll get into the shadows. Okay. So the south node, north node. So the south node is the horseshoe that's up, that points up, right? And this is where we're coming from as a collective, and then where we're going towards. So we're coming from the 34, and then we're moving into the 20. So this is what we're leaving behind. This is Sagittarius, right? 34 is in the sign of Sagittarius. 20 is in the sign of Gemini. And isn't it interesting leaving behind Sagittarius, right? Which is foreign travel. Our travel has been stopped, right, on the planet. Also, religions are breaking down, right, during this time. Like self-righteousness, the big vision, right? That's all breaking down. And then we're coming more into Gemini, and that's our communities, the people that we see day to day. That's where all the action is. It's about information. Gemini is information. It's communication, right? And the internet is just blown up through this because people have been forced to communicate online. So most of our communications coming through that way for most of us, actually, right? So this is where we're going towards. So it's the shadow of force. The 34 is force. So I want to focus on the shadow. That's what we're leaving behind. So force. So we may see this out in the world, and remember, we live on one planet, but there's 7.5 billion worlds and growing. Each person is in their own world, and each person is in a different, I don't want to say a hierarchy, but people are in different stages of development, spiritual development. That's just how it is. That's just the truth, right? So some people are going to be in that shadow frequency, and we'll see that. Right, we'll see that. We'll see that out in the world. We're going to see force out in the world, right? But we'll all see some presence, right? North node, presence. We'll see that too. So just watch the mind, right? Because the mind wants to keep its focus on other people. Well, I can't move forward because these people are in their shadow, and right, and I can't fight that shadow, and I don't want to be part of that. I'm too little. It's too big. That's the mind keeping you away from your soul purpose. You just keep moving forward in your frequency, right? And you'll attract other people that are aligned with your frequency, right? Don't get trapped in that. But also, it's this fine balance, right? I work with this balance myself. Is not getting too much into the external world and what's going on and all the minutia of the shadow, and you know what it's like when you go down that rabbit hole with research and stuff. It's like, yes, we need to know that, but then we need to balance it, and we need to elevate ourselves up and work on our own self and our own spiritual development, right? And still having compassion for what's going on in the world. But everybody is fine. This is what we need to remember. The world, what we see out in the external is fine. Everything is fine. It's perfect, right? Everything we're seeing is perfect. We don't need to change that. We can anyway. It's a fool's game. We can't change the external world, but we can change how we respond to it, right? So, and everybody's going through their own personal experience of awakening right now. Everything that we need as an individual is coming towards us, so we can grow, so that we can change, right? So that we can awaken. That's what's happening. So we're leaving this thing about force and one ruler. The one ruler ruling all. And so remember, with the Aquarian age isn't about centralized power. It's not that at all. The Aquarian age is about decentralized power, the collective, leading the collective. So it's right there in the astrology. It's right there in the ancient prophecies, right? That the Aquarian age is like a done deal. right? It's a done deal. We just have to play our role now, right? We have to play our role with gusto and with strength, right? As a spiritual warrior. So forcing. So what is force? The shadow of force. So we know physical force, right? That's extreme violence, right? This channel right there, the 3420, the shadow is violence, can be violence. So yes, we're going to see that in the world, right? But don't go into fear about it. It's just like, okay, we're all having our own unique experience. People need that for their experience, right? That's what I say to people. It's like we all don't need that experience, right? If your soul needs that experience, then yes, you'll attract it to you, right? So so force. So force is like the going to the mind, and it's like, I'm gonna make this happen, damn it. I'm gonna make this happen. I'm gonna go against the river. Even if the energy is like taking you somewhere else, right? So maybe the energy is taking you away from a relationship, an important relationship in your life, right? And you can feel it. We all feel it, right? When the energy starts to decay in a relationship, right? And it's like you're trying to resuscitate the dead, you know? It just wastes your energy. So I know that's a tough one to swallow, right? But that's the forcing. When you feel something going away, if you feel a friendship is starting to decay, right? You'll feel it. The universe gives you the heads up. It lets you know what's coming, right? Don't force it. Just allow it to be. Allow it to be. Because the ego is that, well, you've got to do something. You got to get out there. You got to do this. You got to do. It's like, no, everything is fine, right? Everything is fine. So watch that in your own life, right? That shadow, right? Coming up. I've got it because our whole way of being is changing, right? That used to work at one time, forcing things, using our ego and our personal willpower to make things happen. And that's weakening. It's dismantling. The mechanics of the ego is completely dismantling now. So no force, no force. In the city, if you want to grab something from the past, the self node is majesty. Majesty. That's the city. So, right, the king or queen. Does the king or queen run around and if they want something, do they? They're hungry and do they go to the kitchen and make themselves food and stuff? No, they don't. They just sit there and a servant comes to them and serves them. So you're like that. This is the Raj Yoga, right? Kundalini Yoga, the Raj Yoga, the royal yogi. You let creation serve you, right? You trust, right? You trust that whatever you need, creation will bring to you, right? And you act accordingly. 3420, you act from inspiration, not from your mind, not from fear, right? This is the other thing I want to remind people of, because we're all dealing with a lot of fear right now, right? And if you go deep enough in meditation, you're going to completely feel the collective, right? Every morning. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of anger going on right now because of the change, right? There's lots and lots of change, the frequency of change. So remember that when you're feeling fear, not to run away from it, not to try to control it or numb it down, but to feel it. And what's it showing you? It's showing you the places where you don't trust God, right? You don't trust the divine. You don't trust Big G. Right? That's why so many people are running to little g right now, right? Because they don't trust God, the big G. So how does that make you a royal yogi? Is when you trust the big G, right? You trust big G. It's like, that's what gives me strength. That's the gift of the 34, is the strength, right? So you want to come from that place in the self node, right? Oh, I'm feeling fear right now. I'm not trusting big G. I got to get aligned now with big G. And so this is, back just quickly to the father wound webinar, right? With this is what that father energy is, right? The big G, the father energy. And this gives you the strength to move forward in your life. It's like, I'm feeling fear, I'm feeling it, but I'm going to move forward anyway because I know the Father, right? The Heavenly Father, Big G, has got my back, protects me, right? And the only thing stopping me is my fear and my own scared little inner child, right? That my earthly father wasn't there for me. We're going to address all of that, those psychological dynamics in this webinar series. Anyway, I'll talk about it after I get through this more. Okay? Let me see if there's any comments about this. I'm going to bring my comment section up here. Okay. Anything? Yeah. So much shedding, Corey, has been happening internally in me in the last few days. That's right. Yeah. So this is the stripping away. We're stripping away for the traveling light for the Aquarian age so we can be the light and spread the light. Just to let it go, right? It's the best thing we can do is to let go. Right? If the universe is taking things away, it's for your highest good. It's for your highest good. But the issue is when something's being taken away and then there's nothing to replace it. That's where I am now. In my house situation. I wanted to give an update about that. And thank you so much for everybody for your prayers. I really feel that, like a lot of people praying for me. And man, Big G likes to really put the screws on me, right? It's like the 11th hour, and it's about squeezing every like ounce. If there's like a micromillimeter bit of fear in my cells, Big G's like, gotta get that out, gotta get that out. So it's just been such a really trust for me, like going even deeper into my faith. Anyway, I've got until the end of the month, which is great. Like it gave me that little cushion of time, but we'll see how it goes. Corey says, me too. Yeah, deep surrender. Yeah, and when it hits your first chakra, like we're all getting hit by the first chakra, that's when it really, like the rubber hits the road. I know so many spiritual people are like, why you do? They're all into it, but as soon as they have an unexpected bill or something, boom, that all gets thrown out the window, right? So it's a test. It's a test. I have to laugh about it. I've got more to share on that. I'm actually in a learning process, and of course, I'll share what I discover, my insights with everybody in a video. But I'm not cooked yet. I'm still the muffin in the oven. Okay, so the North Node is the 20. That's where we're. So that you want to put your energy there, right? The energy there. And this is the shadow of superficiality. So you don't want to go there. So we're going to see a lot of that superficiality. This is running around with the chicken, right? The chicken with the head cut off, right? Superficiality. Staying hectic in your inactivity, right? Forcing things to happen. And staying on the surface of things, which means not going deeper into the spiritual lesson of like, why am I attracting this to me? That I'm the one actually, my subconscious, all my unintegrated stuff from my childhood, from this lifetime, past lives, I'm manifesting it so I can see it. That's going deeper into the ocean of your being, right? But not to stay on the shallow. And this is the blame and complain, right? That's the shadow of superficiality. So yes, we'll see that, but you don't want to see that in yourself, or you want to catch it. It's like, okay, I got to take responsibility here. This is what it means to be a spiritual adult. Why am I attracting this? What does this feeling remind me of that's coming up, right? Oh, this reminds me of the time, blah, blah, blah. And then you feel it, right? And you get out of that superficiality because the ego wants you there, right? Blaming and dividing and separating, right? That's not a good place to be. And that just brings you more and more into fear, right? More and more into fear. So with the 20, the city is the gift is self-assuredness. So, right? So that's being self-reliant, self-confident, that 20. And then presence. And if your presence doesn't work, nothing works. If your presence doesn't work, nothing works. And that's your true power. And that's when more and more of your spirit comes into physical form, right? So that's what you want. So you can see presence is not busy, busy, busy. Presence can be busy, but even in the busyness, the activity on the external inside is coming from a deeper place of your presence. And what's with presence? Presence is peace, right? It's peace and joy and bliss and all those higher frequency feelings. That's what presence is, and that's your true power. Okay. Surrender and trust. That's right. Yeah. Yes, we caught it. And don't beat yourself up, right? If you catch yourself in these shadow frequencies, right? Don't beat yourself up. It's going to become easier and easier as each person starts to awaken to their true power, right? But right now you've got to make the spiritual effort. I imagine in the future when people are born, right? In the future they'll be coming into such a pure frequency, right? That they won't have to do this effort that we've had to do, right? So we're like in the jungle with the machete, like energetically carving the path, right, for others to follow. Yeah. So any questions there? What else do I? Spiritual effort, yeah. Yep. And this is the best way to spend your time right now, is working on yourself. Right? And so it does look negative and there's all this negative forces out in the world, but you know what? I really feel that we need that. Humans are not so good at embracing change, and that we needed this, right? We needed this experience so that we finally stop and we go in, right? Lockdowns can be a good thing. I just saw this thing about you may have seen that video about that Australian man that started freaking out, this young guy, 21, freaking out in one of the quarantine hotels the quarantine for 14 days. And he thought he was going out at noon, but they meant like, no, you don't go till midnight. And anyway, 12 more hours, he totally flipped out and he trashed the hotel room, blah, blah, blah. And the judge put him in jail for 3 months, which was really unfair. But I thought, it must be so difficult for people that haven't really meditated. They haven't done any spiritual work. They haven't done any emotional work. And there you are faced with your own mind, right? No distractions. How that would be something like that experience, right? But we're being forced, the shadow of force, right? Physically forced to stop and to go inside. Yeah. Okay. So just a few more points with this presence is when you're in the gift. So you don't want to be zoned out and hectic. That's that shadow of superficiality. Unable to stop, like compelled to stay busy, not wanting to stop and reflect. And so when you're in the gift here, you're able to you can witness your mind without getting caught up in it, right? So presence, when you're in presence, you're the witness of your mind. You're at the bottom of the ocean. You're not up with the waves and the turbulence, right? You're in the bottom of the ocean and you can watch the antics of your mind, right? You're detached. You feel more spacious when you're in presence, right? The gifts of presence. You're more space. There's more spaciousness inside. Where you feel you can breathe. Yeah. You're optimistic. right? So you feel like things are going to turn out for the best, right? You're completely optimistic. And you allow life to move through you, right? So you're not, it's not the other way around. You're not outer referenced, right? It's, I got to do something because I saw something on the external. Your action comes from deeper inside you, right? Doesn't mean that you're just on the couch all day meditating, you know, unless that's what's called for. You're aware of your energy. Okay, now it's time to move. It's time to move now, right? Um, and then, you know, the other thing with the Aquarian age is we're becoming more feminine, right? We're moving away from we're not completely moving away from the masculine, but we're not, it's like the masculine is, we've gone as far as we can go now with the masculine, right? In the Piscean age. And now we're coming back more into the feminine. So it's a pole reversal, right? You hear about, oh, the poles are going to shift in the earth. The real shift is happening inside, internally, right? That's where the real shift is happening. And this is where the feminine isn't serving the masculine anymore. You know, if you look at archetypically, that was the Piscean age. The feminine served the masculine. Now it's the masculine is serving the feminine, right? So my actions, that's the masculine, are coming from a deeper place. They're coming from my feminine nature. And we all have those energies within us, right? So you're moved. You let life move you. And that means tapped into the universal feminine power. Presence is feminine, right? Presence, right? That's the power of the feminine. So you use your mind. I mean, this is the greatest teaching of human design, is that you don't use your mind to make your decisions, right? Your decisions, where you make your choices is coming from a deeper, deeper place, not the mind. Because the mind's all about the past, right? The past is gone. It's an experience that's gone, right? The only thing that can hold you back is memories of the past in your subconscious mind, right? But it's a ghost, and everything is so new. Even I'm doing that, catching myself. Well, I can't do that because that didn't work, you know, a couple years ago. And it's like, well, this is new, right? We're in a new time now. So the open up to even the things that didn't work before may work this time, right? So open up to that. And that you're present. And what does it mean when you're present? People think they're present. We live on a planet, people are not present, right? They're not present. They're in their minds, thinking about the past. What shoulda, coulda, done that. Then they're projecting the past on the future. This is what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. Right? They're not in the present. The present is you're not in the thoughts of the mind. You're present. You can feel your breath. You can feel your feet. Do you know that feeling? Like you're completely present. You're present to your life. So this is where we want to go, right? So the beauty of this, how the spiritual lesson will come, is it will show you all the places where you're not present, right? So that you can correct. This is what the spiritual effort journey is about. Okay, I made a mistake. Correct. Made another mistake. Correct. Right? That's all you do. I know. My dog does have. That's Bougie. He's right here. Okay. So slowing down. Okay? So this is the time to be slowing down and becoming more present in your life. And the great thing is when you become more present in your life, then you don't make stupid mistakes, you know? Often the times in my life where I've made mistakes or even like, you know, stubbed my toe or lost my keys or, you know, some silly physical problem, it's always been because I wasn't present. It's like, oh, I wasn't present. So that's always a sign for me when I, you know, make something in the physical happens, you know, where I hurt myself. It's like, oh, it's showing me that I wasn't grounded. I need to ground. I need to be grounded. Okay. So while it's in the 6th line, okay, Let me see how long it's here. I just get my ephemeris. September 9th. Okay. Okay. Oh, the 10th. You just have a day. Okay. So the 10th, it moves into the 5th line. Okay, so today and tonight, just reflect, right? Go into a little meditation. Even do that thing, the pranayama that I taught you at the beginning. And then just reflect on, okay, how do I want to spend my energy? What activities do I want to engage in, right? For this time that we're in right now until January. Yeah. And remember, you're not focused on the Titanic sinking. You're focused on you're in the dinghy creating something completely new, right? And it will come to you. And it's not about the past, what worked in the past. It's about that Aquarian consciousness that's moving through each person, right? Each person. And it wants to be expressed through you in your own unique way. And then January 15th, we're moving the North Node 8th. That's my sun. So I know this one really well. And this is about your uniqueness, your authenticity, right? So how do you, it's the monkey bars, right? So the 23rd, the 3420, how's that going to get you to the 14.8, right? To your power, right? In your authenticity. How are these activities going to get you there? And I'm going to tell you right now, it's spiritual in nature, whatever it is. Okay. So I just want to say a little thing about, I know the people, so here's how I work, and this is really frustrating for me. I've got Saturn in the Pisces in the 8th house, right? So when I begin something, like I'll get an inspiration, I'm a projector, so I'm invited through the divine. Kind of the divine invites me. And so the mother wound, I didn't even plan on doing that. And then the inspiration came to me, the mother wound. And then as soon as I commit, that's my purpose. The 29 is commitment. As soon as I commit to doing a program or a webinar or something, that's when all the magic happens, right? But it's not just me committing, it's other people committing to me, if that makes sense, or committing to I don't want to go into the personal, but committing to, okay, he's doing something that I really need for my own healing. So I'm going to invest. This is the 8th house. This just came to me today. I'm going to invest my energy, which comes in the form of money, right? And my time, because I'm going to attend and I'm going to watch this and I'm going to do this work. And then what I'm doing with the 8th house is taking your money and then transmuting it into spiritual energy and then giving it back to you. So it's like, I'm like a conduit of sorts, right? So as soon as that commitment's made, like I make the commitment and other people are committing to being part of this webinar series, then the magic happens, right? That's when the information starts coming to me. That's when the experiences, and like I do not make any effort. Sometimes it's just like I press the button and there it is on the computer. It's like, oh my God, this is exactly what I was looking for, right? Or it comes through me through intuition, right? Or an experience in life, or somebody will come to me in 3D and tell me something. And it was like, oh my God, that's exactly, this would fit so perfectly with this webinar series. So it's like your energy is in there. Do you know what I mean? So with the healing the mother wound, I couldn't really write about it at the beginning because I made the commitment and I had kind of some ideas what I was doing. But when I'm in it, that's when everything happens. So part of the 29, right? I have half of the channel of discovery is I learn after, and then I could write down, right? You'll notice that I've got a detailed thing on the Chiron wound because I completed it. We completed it. And then I was able to write it out. Okay, this is what we did. This is the content. So healing the father wound, yes, I have some ideas, but it's not completed. So it's very frustrating for me because I wish it were that way, but it's not. for me. Okay. So it's just the trust. And I really feel like this is really, really big. And this is why people are not standing up, right? They're not standing up for themselves. They're not confident in themselves, right? Because this has been so damaged, right? This father wound is, I mean, this consciousness has been really damaging to the family, right? Towards the family. And I never thought I would say this, but I really feel like marriage, right? Marriage has been really broken down, and we don't understand what marriage is. And marriage is like a sacred container, right? Marriage is a sacred container for that family, that energy of the family, and that the father has been so removed in the mother from the family, right? From that family unit. And I really feel like the family is, there's so much power in this family when we heal it. When we heal that, we can heal it within ourselves, right? So what does the father do? The father is the protector, right? The father is the protector. So, as children, we understand, we come in with an understanding of obedience, right? Like the higher frequency of obedience is to obey a greater power than ourselves. But it's been so distorted, right? And wounded that the father is no longer the protector, but the attacker, right? Everything's inverted, everything's upside down. So this is what's happening, right, in our world. Is like, yes, our inner child wants to obey, but we're obeying the false father. And the false father is the big G out in the world, right? I'm not going to stand up for myself. I'm just going to obey and just hope for the best, right? And people are like, they're doing a crapshoot. They're gambling with their own lives, basically, in their own spiritual journey at this time. But once we heal that father wound, then that gives us that confidence and faith, It's like it looks so uncertain out there and scary, and I don't know what's going to happen, but I've got to stand up for what's right, right? And when we heal this father, if we had the correct father growing up, right, and the little child stands up and says, no, don't touch me there, or don't do that to me. There's the father in there as the muscle, like, don't touch my child, right? No, this is not correct, right? So that gives the child confidence, right? That confidence to speak up for themselves. And if you didn't get that, right, because we've been so distorted through religion and education, and right, to obey that the kind of the false father archetype that we're seeing out in the world right now. So that's just something that was coming to me. So I really just urge you, like, just jump in. You won't regret it. These webinars are more experiences, and you'll get, we'll work through the psychology, because I love psychology. We'll go through the spiritual, right? The healing meditations. It's just very healing, even to be with a group consciousness that's doing this, doing this work. And there's a lot of healing to do around the father. Okay. That's my blurb. It's so weird for me to do live streams, because I don't know, it's like teaching in 3D. You just have to let go of control. Okay, so let's get back here, and we'll do a little prayer before we I'm going to take my dog to the park. Okay, so the stop share. Okay, here we go. Okay, there we go. The light's coming in. Okay. This is better. Might be better. Sorry about that. Whatever. Okay. So let's prepare. Suzanne says, how can watch later? Just left work. It's oh, that's an old thing. Okay. Let's keep it up. I'll keep it up as it is. Okay. So let's sit up, everybody, and we'll prepare to close. So eyes are closed. and bring your presence, right? Presence. That's what enlightenment is. It's bringing your whole self into physical form to be here on this planet, right? Up and out, checking in and out. It did not work, right? Clearly it didn't work. It's not going to work now. So just to be here, and you can move mountains with your presence, right? So remember that you're in charge of your own energy field, and you can shift the energy of your environment, right? The light always wins over the darkness. That lower frequency cannot live in the light of who you are, right? So this webinar series is about claiming your power back, right? To be in this world. The mother is like, if you fall and you hurt your knee, ow, ow, and you're crying, the mother comes over and, nurtures you and hugs you and, oh, you poor boo-boo, right? But then the father comes in and says, okay, it's time. You can do this. You got to get up and you got to try again, right? That's the father energy. You can do this. You have the strength, the confidence. I'm right there with you to protect you. And then you can bring your presence, right, into physical form, because we're terrified to be here, if we're honest. We're so sensitive, right? But this is our power. This is what we've got to flip, right? It's our innocence. That's our true power. It's our innocence. That's what you want to protect. So just take a moment just to send out gratitude, the frequency of gratitude for all the challenges that you're experiencing in your life right now. I know that it's hard, right? But it's making you stronger, right? You're being prepared for this time as we transition. And it's about opening your heart, right? It's all about opening the heart. So whatever is shattering your heart open, don't resist it. That's the bottom line, is like, this is to open up your heart. That was shut down many, many, many years ago, from that 0 to 7, that emotional imprinting. And again, that's your power. We've been misinformed for so many years that our true power is our innocence, our vulnerability, and our heart. And I just want you to take a moment to send that gratitude for yourself, towards yourself, that you're doing a good job. Right? I'm doing a good job. I'm doing my best. And then let's send some prayers out to your family and your community, wherever they're at in their spiritual development. This is our greatest power. We can't change people. We can't save people, but we can pray for people, right? Without attachment to outcome, right? Just to send a prayer out to them. Maybe you have someone in your life that you just can't get through, that you can see they're making bad decisions in their life. But just pray for them and know that they're in God's hands. And now let's send our prayers out to the world, that they remember who they are, and in their own time. Everybody's developing at the speed that's right for them. And just take a moment to make that commitment to yourself, to love yourself unconditionally, whatever you're going through, to commit to wake up every single day, and all you have to do is to be you, be your authentic self. Show up in your life, be you, sober and clear, and just doing your best. And know that Big G's got your back. And inhale deeply. And exhale. And rub your palms together. And we'll close with one long Satnam. Truth is my identity. That I am truth. Inhale deeply. Exhale. And inhale to close. Satnam, everyone. Thank you for the prayers, and I pray for everybody every single morning. So back at you. Okay, bye for me and Buji.